let's go back to where we were at before I rudely interrupted you, which I apologize. You said he came down. He said, Rice, man, I'm just messing around. What were you saying about that?
I felt relieved, man, and I was hoping he was like dead serious when he told me, man, I was just messing around with you. You know, I was relieved, and I was like, you know, I looked at my celly, man, and I was like, man, I said, man, all right, I'm okay. I guess I can make it out of prison now. You know, you know what I mean? Because it was a guy, the same guy that killed the 5% guy that killed my homeboy Bullock.
Yeah.
They gave him 30 years for that body, for killing him. So, you know, nobody wins in that situation. Whether you're you're the aggressor, you're the person that stabbed and killed someone, or the one that, that dies in the situation. So nobody wins, man.
Nobody wins. You ever been involved in any type of riots with the South car against other cars? You ever had situations like that in prison?
Yeah, one time in California. See, California, man, it's like the old South. It's extremely segregated out there, and everybody has. It's like but I was in one situation where it was the Mexicans and the blacks out there. One situation, and thankfully, man, it was one guy. One guy was real cool with, man, Mexican guy, man. He told me, man, way before that riot took place, he said, because we was in the same unit together. We kicked it, we all of that, man. So he said, man, Rice, man, if I ever see you, man, me and your people get together, going against each other. He said, man, if I see you, man, I'm going to run the other way, man. And I said, man, I'm going to do the same for you, man. And that's what happened, man. That's what happened. During that riot, we seen each other. We locked eyes with each other, and we went somewhere else fighting somebody else. And, we was in lockup, man, and we shoot little notes, man, through the orderlies. And I was like, man, I appreciate it. We still was cool. It wasn't nothing personal. It's just like things be happening like that sometime when a lot of times you don't have no control over when a riot takes place. You just know you have to be there because your homeboy is like, man, if you're not there, we're gonna when it's all over, we're gonna whip you, beat you up, and we're gonna run you off the yard. You can't go back on that yard. They have to transfer you somewhere else, or you just have to defend yourself because you get caught in the crossfire. It's deep though, man. It's a whole nother world, and you can't talk to too many people about stuff like this in society because they don't understand it, they don't know about it, they never been through it, and I guess it's foreign to them. So that's why I'm appreciative of the platform you got here, man. Blood on the razor wire, you know what I'm saying? Because it allows me to get that out,
No doubt. Let me ask you this, Duke.
Yeah.
What was the riot over? The Mexicans versus the blacks. What are they beefing over? Was it something serious? Was it worth it?
Well, it transpired in the education department, and it was a black guy from Tennessee had done it was two Mexican guys that was standing in line to use the bathroom because the bathroom is like one person at a time. So the black guy went around both of the Mexican guys, and when it went around them and just disregarded, like they wasn't standing there. Went in there, used the bathroom, and came out. So both of the Mexicans jumped on the black guy, and which he was clearly wrong. The black guy was wrong. So that's how it started. So it's like now it's a power struggle amongst it turned into a race thing because two Mexicans jump on a black guy, one. So, and a lot of people felt kind of salty about the situation, and that's things kind of escalated on the prison yard. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much the take on it.
So while this is going on in your mind, are you thinking like, damn, I hope I don't get killed out here?
Yeah, man, because a lot of people did get stabbed out there, and when you're in a prison yard, you got baseball bats, you got baseballs, and you got different little. They had the free weights at that time, and there's different weapons out there. So, and I look around, I see Mexicans digging knives out the ground. They don't dug holes and put knives out there. Because out in Cali, in that water, man, it's like the Mexicans they run California, man. In that prison and Victorville too, man, they run it out there. Like even the gang members is like they are kind of a little bit timid because their numbers is not as large as the Mexicans. You know what I mean? So whenever they get into a situation, you know what I'm saying? They think twice, and that sometimes they try to talk it out without trying to go to that extent because they know it's going to get real bloody.
And like you said, when they got the numbers over there too, and Mexicans mean business in prison, don't they?
Man, they don't. Listen, if you think Mexicans gonna play with you in there, they gonna pile. Listen, they gonna pile up on you like a pile of ants, man, and all of them gonna have knives. They're not gonna be playing around. So, sometimes you can't even get a one-on-one because it's like a hand. They have a hands-off policy. You can't put your hands on one of them. I don't care if it's the Pisces or Serenos or I don't care if whatever. There's so many Mexican games, but it's a hands-off policy over there, man. You can't touch them. Now.
How long does this riot last? Would you say?
Man, it happens so fast, man. Because when you outside, you got cameras and you got the towers, the gun towers. So the guards and the gun towers, they shooting their little beanbag guns, and they even brought out the rubber bullets. You know what I mean? A few people got shot with rubber bullets, out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and one guy got shot. He wasn't even in the riot. It was a white guy. He got shot through his stomach, and it came out his leg. The rubber bullet. So, it gets real ugly, man. Sometimes you can just be an innocent bystander. You know what I mean? And things just get real ugly. So it just being in the prison environment itself, a person best just try to do what you got to do out in society, man, and fly straight and not put yourself in that situation.
100%. During this riot, there's free weights. Are people throwing weights, throwing baseballs, horseshoes, hitting people with bats? Tell the people what happens in a prison riot on the West Coast.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Baseball bats, baseballs, free weights. People because like people come outside, they sell food. Like you have like prison stores that bring bags of food out there. They bring buckets with sodas and ice in it. People were throwing canned sodas, full canned sodas, man. I'm talking about everything. Everything is a weapon out there, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you get hit with anything, you just better hope you can make it. You have people climbing gates, with the razor wires, trying to climb the gates because they got 3 different yards. And once on the yard, they'll lock you in one side. You know what I'm saying? So, when you my bad, this phone,
So go ahead, say what you were saying again.
Yeah, so like I said, in prison riots, man, it gets real ugly, man. People just anything is a weapon on the prison yard, man. Some people have knives, some people have, people was throwing, like I said, soda cans, full soda cans. We had people climbing gates, trying to climb over the barbed wire, knowing they can't get over it, but so scared that they trying to get off that yard some kind of way without getting killed. And, a lot of people got stabbed, man. Luckily, it wasn't no deaths that, but a lot of people got stabbed up real bad, man. And it was serious. And I wouldn't advise anybody go through that, man.
Let me ask you this: you ever been stabbed or hit with a soda can?
Well, I've been jumped. I've been jumped before. I've never been stabbed in there, but I've been jumped on before. You know what I'm saying? I had to fight off some attackers before, man. And luckily I had some skills up under my belt. You know what I'm saying? But neither one of the guys had a knife on them. You know what I mean? And I'm glad they didn't because the guy caught me from behind. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting in the dining hall eating. It was like a Thursday, eating tacos, taco salad, man. And I had them put a spoon of rice in my mouth. As soon as I put the spoon of rice in my mouth, I get socked from the back side of my head. You know what I mean? So now, when that happened, I don't know where my attacker is at. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to get up off the floor. Now I'm fighting two people. So I had to think fast. The best thing I knew to do, and off the top of my head, was to grab one of them and hold one of them and try to kind of fight the other one off the best way I could. So I grabbed one of them in the headlock. You know what I'm saying? And I kept turning the guy towards him so the other guy couldn't get to me. You know what I'm saying? So I did that for a quick, brief second. You know what I mean? And the other guy, I had been squeezing his neck so hard, I felt he was losing consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So once I felt like he was lost enough consciousness, I let him go, and I just started fighting the other guy. You know what I'm saying? It was a one-on-one then, because the other guy, he trying to get himself together. He can't really. He thought he was about to die. So, but by that time, the police ran and they broke it up. You know what I'm saying?
What are they jumping? What are they jumping you for?
Man, like I say, man, I kind of everywhere I went, man, I kind of had a little. Once you get that rank of being somebody inside the federal penitentiary, it follows you everywhere you go. So people, they don't like certain calls that I probably made. You know what I mean? And you have people sometimes that they don't care who you is. They gonna come for you. You know what I mean? They gonna plot against you, and they gonna come for you. And it's just to try to get you out the way. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you have guys in there that they try to harbor government informants. Then you have guys in there that tries to. They got this thing called gunning. Your gunners that they masturbate off of. And sometimes in certain cars, depending on what group of people that you're in, don't allow that. So if you firm on standing against that, then and you have a lot of people that's for it, then you're gonna have some people that's gonna come after you on account of it. So they come after you for what you stand for. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much it, man.
So people are over there, so people know gunners, like you said, they're masturbating, they're looking at women, they're standing in their window. Sometimes they'll go right to school, cut a hole in their pocket, in their pants, and, and some cars don't go for it. You were one of the dudes that was like, yo, we ain't going for it, right?
We ain't go. Right. You know what I'm saying? And, you had at the time, back in those, you had paperwork parties where people's paperwork, like the PSI and discovery material they had no told on their mother, their father, their grandmother, their homeboy, whoever it was, so they can try to save themselves, man. And that's how the federal system operates. You have the prosecutors that offer people immunity and time cuts in order to tell on whoever they want to tell on, and so they can try to get out of prison sooner. And I ran across some cool people, man, and I used to read certain people's paperwork, and I was like, man, that's not right. Guys telling on their mothers. One guy told on his grandmother, man, and they had it was in the discovery statement where the guy said, well, he put the drug, saying his grandmother was the one cooking up the crack. You know what I'm saying? And the statement said that he was like, well, hell, she old anyway. Shit, she about to die anyway. You know,
Oh my God.
you know what I'm saying?
Damn. Damn. He done put it on grandma.
Yeah, you have some cruel people, cold-hearted people back there, man, and you don't want them around you. You know what I mean? Because all they're gonna do is tell on you, or they're gonna do something far worse to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, but you have people that will harbor those type of individuals in that federal prison setting, and you know, it's just sad, man. I hate it's like that, but you have those kind of people back there. But when you stand against it, you receive all type of backlash for it. You know, sometimes that's how it is in life. Sometimes too, you stand on what's right. You know, you're gonna have a lot of backlash from a lot of people. You know that you know and that you don't know.
Let me ask you this, right? You end up going to the SMOOth program. What do you go to the SMOOth program for? Is that for the stabbing in Atwater?
Yeah, that's the stabbings and stuff like that, man. They once they'll let it pile up on you. You know, you can get in some trouble and they'll keep letting you out of lockup and putting you back on the prison yard until it just piles up, and then they'll be like, one day you go to lock up and they'll be like, well, man, we put you in for the SMOOth program, special management unit up there in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, man. And you know, you have to go through that process, and they put me in for it, and I was like, man. So at that time, it was an 18-month program, and you know, from what I heard from a few guys that I still communicate with that's in the federal prison, it went down to like, I think 9 months like that now. So, but when I went, it was 18 months, and you can't get in no trouble during those entire 18 months while you're there.
Or they start you back at a different phase or whatever. How many months did you actually do there?
I didn't do nothing but them 18 months. I stayed out the way.
I mean, it has a way of locking you in a cell 24 hours a day, and you're like, damn, man, I don't want to live like this, right?
24 hours a day in the cell. You like when they let you out to take that shower, man, you get that 1 hour recreation. They try to cram it all together. And after that, it's over, man. You in that cell. In Lewisburg, they don't have any air conditioning, you know. So in the summertime, you burn up inside those cells because the cells is brick and they hold heat. In the wintertime, there's no heat. They had a pole. It's like a pole about that big that runs from the floor to the ceiling. And a little bit of heat come off that pole, but it's not enough heat for you to warm up. So in the wintertime, you're gonna be doing push-ups and you're gonna be, man, I had 4 blankets. I'm talking about thick blankets. And I was laying up under those and I still was cold. You know, so that's a part of the punishment. They don't, no AC, no heat in the wintertime. You know, the food is crap. You know, the food is crappy. The commissary was crappy. It took them a longer period of time for them to get certain things that you need on the prison commissary. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things that you just need. Man, that commissary was gutted out. They didn't have much of anything in there. So, but I was there, man, and um, that's where I wrote them. I wrote 3 books while I was there, man. While I was at Lewisburg.
Let me ask you this. We'll talk about the books in 1 second. How many nights did you go to bed hungry at Lewisburg?
Man, I'm talking about it might have been every night. I'm talking about because when they bring the food so early, it be like a little bit after 4 o'clock. The dinner come around a little after 4, and it don't be much on the tray. And man, I'm talking about. I remember many nights, man, just kicking it with my celly, man, about, man, we used to talk about food, man. I'm gonna get out when I get out, man, I'm gonna go to this restaurant, I'm gonna go to that restaurant. You know, you get talking about the food, and then you just fall asleep and wake up. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely be hungry at night up in Lewisburg, man. Yeah.
That's one of the worst things, man, for me was being in prison and being hungry, man. When I was in the hole in USP Pollock, man, I used to go to bed hungry at night. But anyway, let's talk about your books. I know you wrote a couple books while you were over there. Tell the people what the titles are, where they can find them. And
okay, all right. So I have a children's book. I published the children's book prior to being released from prison. But this children's book is on Amazon.com. And the name of it is The Bird Who Could Not Fly by Donald T. Rice. And I meant to send you that link too, man. But I'll send it to you. But Amazon.com slash author slash Rice the author underscore 21.
Don't worry, I'm gonna post a link for your book inside the description.
All right, cool. And like I said, that children's book, man. I had a guy out of DC that I sat down with, on a daily basis, man, for like 2.5 months, man, and he did the drawings for me for the book. I had the story already written, and I sat down with him and I told him, this is what I want on this page. This is what I want on this page. So the drawings are handcrafted drawings from a guy from DC, you know what I'm saying? And he's in the book, his name in the book too, as well, for the credits, for the illustrations.
Okay.
And the second book I published as soon as I got out of prison in 2021, called Cream of the Crop by Donald T. Rice. And I published that book. That was one of the books that I wrote while I was in the special management unit in Pennsylvania too. And I published that book. And the other book that I wrote in Pennsylvania was Duke's Collection of Short Stories by Donald T. Rice. And it consists of 16 different short stories. And they're all different. And they're not prison stories. They're just stories, fictional stories that I made up as I was, allowing my mind to be free within those four walls. And, while I was on those 23 to 24-hour lockdowns daily. So those 3 books right there are the ones that I have published. I have like 12 more additional books that I'm going to start publishing here shortly, soon, within the coming months. I'm thinking about maybe December, the middle of December, I may come out with one. And under my own company. I have my own self-publishing company as well. You know what I mean? It's called Alpha and Omega Publishing. And I got the LLCs and everything done as soon as I got out of prison on it, because I was saying to myself, I see a lot of publishing companies, they're not, you have to fit in a certain category in order to get your book published. And some people, depending on the content of your book, they won't publish your material. And up under my company, you can publish anything. I don't care if you're talking about racism. I don't care if you're talking about violence. I don't care what you're talking about, because we look at this TV every day. When we go on our streaming TV, we look at all kind of stuff. We look at violent stuff. We look at all types of drug shows. We look at all type of, it don't matter what it is. So why should I be limiting my material? Or, of course you're going to have to censor it for children. You just don't, I won't, you don't want children or.
I get it. I know what you're saying. You're giving you're giving people a platform to say what they want to say, but when it comes to kids, you kind of steer away from that. So you came out of prison kind of with a plan, right? How long you been home?
I've been home. I think it was I got out June the 2nd of 2021. So then until now.
Are you working a job?
Yeah, I've been working several jobs. Right now, I'm at FedEx Ground right now. I work third shift. All I work is third shift jobs.
So you're working, you're staying busy, you're doing the right thing. What is going to keep you from ever going back to prison, brother?
Say that one more time.
What is the one thing that will keep you from ever going back?
The one thing, man, I lost too many years out of my life, man. It wasn't worth it the first times. You know what I mean? So that's enough for me. Just me losing 22 years out of my life, that's enough for me, man. I learned that to be content you know, is to be, it doesn't take a lot to be happy. You know, I used to think I used to have a whole lot of money and a whole lot of different kind of cars and a whole lot of different women and just materialistic possessions. And I don't need all of that. I had to learn because that's what my crimes were, mostly money crimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I realized I don't need all of that. I just need enough to sustain me. I don't have any kids yet, but I'm working on it. But as long as I got a roof over my head, I got a vehicle, you know what I'm saying, to get me from A to Z. And I'm just out here enjoying life, man. I'm okay with that, man.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your stories. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to say, man, to a youngster out there in South Carolina? Maybe there's a youngster in Charlotte heading down the wrong road. He's out there thinking he's getting money. He's getting ready to do a robbery. What would you tell him today?
Well, like I did, I had to make up my own decisions, and my own mind on what I wanted to do with my life and my future. And to the youngsters out there, you're gonna have to do the same thing. You're gonna have to make some choices in your life. You're gonna have to make some adjustments. You're gonna have to figure out what it is you want to do with your life as it moves forward into the future, because you are your own man and woman. Because there's a lot of female prisoners that be going to prison and going through a lot of the things that the males go through too. But I just would like to see you make better decisions and choices in your life so you won't have to go through what I had to go through. And I feel like a part of the Creator's will is for me to share my story with you all so you all cannot make the same mistakes and choices I made in life. You know what I mean? Because that's how, each one teach one. We all are teachers in our own way, no matter our age. It's just what we go through in life. Learn from other people's mistakes, man, and don't go through the same things that other people try to tell you that you shouldn't be going through. And that's the message, man, that I want to give out to the youth, man. Just figure out what it is that you're good at. If you I don't care if it's just, it doesn't matter what it is. If you know how to draw, get into an art class, art school. If you know how to do tattoos, do some tattoos. If you know how to cut hair, cut some hair. Find your skill traits, man, because a lot of people they commit money crimes like I did. Figure out what it is that you're good at, what you can do. And that's where you start at. You can start your own business. Nowadays, in light of after the pandemic, people learn how to, I noticed people learn how to do a lot of things. People got online, they figured things out. And that's what all this stuff come about when it come down to, going to grocery stores and just shopping for groceries for other people. You know what I mean? That's a hustle, the Uber. It's just so many different things that you can do, without resulting to committing money crime.
It's a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier doing the right thing. That's pretty much what you're saying, right?
Bottom line, to prevent yourself from going through the prison life, because it's not a game. It's not a game. A lot of people lost their life back there, man. Died, won't be coming back. So, but if that's what anybody in their right mind is not going to want that type of lifestyle for themselves anyway. So
they definitely don't want to be laying out there on the concrete at USP Pollock like your boy Bullock, right?
Definitely not like Bullock, man. And may he rest in peace, man. And like I say, man, it's a better way.
Well, listen, Duke, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. You've been through a lot of stuff, man. And you know what? Your experiences, I think that you can shed some light. I'm going to tell people, man, if they like what we talked about, hit the like button. Definitely want them to go check out your books. I'm going to check one out tonight. I'm probably going to buy that first one you talked about. I'm going to support the hustle. But listen, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on here. Until tomorrow, I'm going to let people know, man, it's Blood on the Razor Wire TV with respect. Until tomorrow, we're out.